Now once I've written it, I'm going to dress the candle. Now in the dressing, I'm going to use banishing oils, purifying oils. So I'm going to use some basil. I have here olive oil, which you know I love to work with my olive oil. Olive oil is also protecting, and it's banishing. So I'm going to use basil essential oil. Just make sure you can see that. There you go. I'm going to use lavender because that's protective and purifying, and I'm going to put 2 drops. Now remember, you don't need to use so much oil when you're only going to dress a candle. And I'm also going to use chamomile roman, if you can see that. 2 drops. Now, because I'm working with the waning moon, I'm going to do anti-clockwise 3 times. And I'm going to rub that on my forehead, on my 3rd eye, and on my chest bone. That helps me to also stay focused. Now, with my hands, I just take it in from the middle. Rub down, and as I'm doing it, I'm imagining all that illness leaving my mother's body, seeing her in my mind's eye being healthy. So from the bottom, from the middle up, and from the bottom down. And then I will put that in a candle holder, and I will burn that next to her in a room till it's all burnt down. So that's finished. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tea. Now, my mother-in-law bought me this wonderful tea kettle that you fill with tea leaves or any kind of herbs and put it onto the cooker, the stove to burn. Inside it has a little sieve. I don't know if you have anything like this, but if you can find one, it's fantastic. If not, just use a small saucepan and then strain the tea off. Into this, I'm going to work now with the body. So I'm going to use cinnamon, which is healing. I'm going to use mint. And I'm going to use chamomile, which I have already ground. And I'm going to use a few pieces of orange peel that I dried myself, and that's just to give it some flavour. You can just see it there. And I'm going to put all those in there, and then add the water. Now, while the tea is starting to brew, I'm going to make an oil to rub on a tummy. Now, if you're not an aromatherapist or you're not very knowledgeable about aromatherapy, I urge you to not use aromatherapy or to not mix them to put on yourself personally, because essential oils are very, very powerful. They do work. Now I'm going to use olive oil. You can either use 2 tablespoons of olive oil or 20 ml. Now into this I'm going to add something that's going to stop the vomiting. She's also got chills, so I want to use something warming. So here I have some ginger, and I'm going to put 2 drops of ginger. I'm going to put 2 drops of chamomile roman. All of these that I'm putting in, they all help with vomiting and with poorly tummies. And I'm going to put some black pepper because, as I mentioned, she has these chills, so that's going to help warm her. And I'm going to add a bit of lavender oil, essential oil also. Now with this metal spoon, I'm just going to stir it. But as I'm stirring it, in my mind, I'm seeing her getting better, and she's healing. Because I'm not working with the spirit right now, I'm working with the body. And I want to make sure that this aromatherapy oil brings her healing. So it smells absolutely gorgeous. So we've learned about the waning moon, that we need to send things away. If, for example, I had a money problem and I needed money, I wouldn't do a candle spell or any kind of spell to bring money to me. I'd do something to send debt away. But be very careful in your wording and your intention, because say, for example, you've got a car and you can't pay for it, and you need the money, but because it's a waning moon, you want to send the debt away. If you send the debt away, you could be sending the car away. You know, you could have a car, I mean, God forbid, touch wood, you have a crash that ends up with the car being totaled and you don't have to pay anymore, for an example. So be very careful in your wording. So with the health, if you want to send away addictions or you want to send away illness, work with the moon phases. Another thing that you can do, if you don't want to work with the moon phases, you can use angel magic, which I do, and it doesn't matter whether it's a waxing moon, a full moon or a waning moon. You can just call on the archangels to help you, and they will help. I'm going to take off the cooker. And here we have the boiled tea. Now, because it's bitter, put some honey in it. If you're making tea for someone, if you prefer it not to have honey, that's fine. I'm just going to put a spoonful of honey in, and I'm going to leave it in there so that the hot water of the tea can just help it to come off the spoon. And I'm also going to use a tea strainer as well, and I'm just going to pour that in just to catch any of the dredges of the tea. Now you can either make a fresh batch every time, or you can keep it in the fridge, in the refrigerator, and heat it up when you need it. And then you just give it a good stir, and I'll be taking up to my mother soon. So there we have your tea, the candle and the oil. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Please check out Edster 1973 for more information on how candle magic actually works. Have a great day. Bye bye.